Hey folks, welcome to another space with me, Kalu Aja. Glad to have you guys here. We are here, of course, every Sunday, uh 7 p.m. We're talking the economy, we're talking money, and of course we're talking personal finance. This week we're still talking money, but we're talking the money of soccer, football, business, right? Want to just do a bit detour and see what's going on in that sector in Nigeria. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we do better and all that? So that's what we're gonna do this Sunday. Again, guys, great visuals. Again, I've done on Twitter and again on YouTube. So if you want to follow, I've got lots of nice information there for you to sort of like follow in and sort of like get a sense of what we're trying to talk around today. I have a guest today. Once he comes in here, I will start because this is not my subject area. I want to make sure I want to get the experts to speak more on this subject area. Once he's in here, I'm going to just kick off and hand over to him. I have my questions, but I think he's going to be in a better position to answer those questions for us. His name is Porja. I'm just going to look out for him. Once he's here, he's going to request to speak, and then we'll add him, and then we'll just get the party started. How you guys doing? How was your week? What are you guys doing? What are you guys investing in? It was a great week. We had the largest IPO in the history of the world, the SpaceX IPO. Did you guys buy? Are you guys looking to buy? We'll have to do a space on that. Lots of information out there, not that correct. But I mean, my sense, before we just get Poja in here, my sense, of course, is that if you're a long term investor, right, when something this big comes out, it's difficult to ignore it. Whether the offer is going to be good or bad, if you're investing in the US market, you're going to be buying SpaceX. It's just so large, right? So the ETFs, the pension funds, the 401ks, they're all going to buy. So irrespective if you like it or if you don't like it, I think you're going to be a shareholder in that stock. So that's what I'll say. But I think it's overall, I would say if you're a long-term investor, I kind of think it makes sense. I mean, it's difficult to bet against that guy, Elon, just for the premium that he has. It's difficult to bet against him. And I think the company is set up for the future. There are lots of things they're not saying that if they get right, for instance, data centers in space, it's going to change the whole thing. So I'm still waiting for Poja, right? Like I can start because it's all him. Let me just see if I can give him a DM. I want him to be here because we have some great questions for him. And if you guys are on YouTube, just go on YouTube. I've taken my time to do a few visuals for you guys. Poja's in the United States, I believe. Let me see if he's here. Not yet. And I think it's one of the only Nigerians that we have over there. So yeah, we want to have his take. If he doesn't come, hey, we'll do it ourselves, right? We'll have you guys ask your questions and we'll speak. Let me see. Let's see if it's the guy. So yeah, that's my take on that offer. I mean, if you guys, I mean, you guys can buy now from Nigeria. I always say this when we started off investing. The project is here. When we started off investing, we had no way to buy stocks abroad. But now you guys are all buying stocks abroad and all that. So I would say take your time and and get it. That's how I'll say it. Hey, Poja, I'll send you an invite. Once you accept, then we can get this party started, right? I'm gonna copy. So I'm gonna start to share the slides on Twitter. Yeah, Poja is here. Hey, Mr. Poja, how you doing? You know you're a busy man. How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. P. How you doing? How's your date going so far?
Day is going well. I just left church, so I'm actually in the car going home, so I can still catch up and still contribute to the topic of discussion today.
Okay, wow. So that means you might not see my slides. I basically have a few, like 6 slides out. I just want to use that as a backdrop to ask you these questions, right? But let me start off real quick, right? So I don't know how long your commute is. Just introduce yourself. Many guys don't know who you are. Where are you? Who are you? Just to get us into the frame, yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Sulaiman Adebayo. Most guys know me as Puja Media. So I'm a photojournalist based in Nigeria, and I'm actually in the US for the World Cup. So I got in last night. So this is my second World Cup. I covered the Qatar 2022. I've covered 6 AFCONs. So that makes it like 10 years. I've covered 6 AFCON. So you can call me an influencer too, because in the part of my work too, I influence for some brands. Brands pay for my services as well. So basically, I'm just in sports. Sometimes I can be in tech. Sometimes I can do crypto. But I major in sport because that's what fits me and fits my family. So, and of course, my Twitter page, my social media page is very obvious of what I do. Post pictures of players and go for international tournaments.
Fantastic, but I mean, we brought you in here because you can give us a bit of a on the ground assessment of one talk about football in Nigeria, one talk about the World Cup, one talk about even the local league, and see what we're getting right, what we're getting wrong. So the first slide I have here, I'm not sure you can see it. The first slide I have, I'm sharing on YouTube and on Twitter. If you go on Twitter, you're going to see my slides. I'm sharing the slides. This is the FIFA World Cup 2026, the prize money breakdown. What every country is going to get from the champion, who is going to get about 50 million. So the winner of this tournament is going to get $50 million. But what is even important to me is that once you attend this World Cup, just once you attend, you're going to get about $12.5 million. $12.5 million, guys. That's $2.5 million to prepare for the World Cup. And then when you qualify, about 10 million. So whatever happens, even if you lose all 3 games, you are walking away from the United States with $12.5 million. That's not a small amount, Poja. Poja, what has Nigeria really lost? When we've seen the income we've lost, we've also lost the tourism. I mean, we're watching Morocco play Brazil. Most Americans are going to say, where's Morocco? They're going to Google it, see that they've got good tourism sites, and might go there and all that. Just the general goodwill, general branding, and then, of course, the money. What have we really lost? Just talk more about what Nigeria has lost by not attending 3 World Cups now. 3 World Cups. Poja, you've got the floor. Hello, Miss P, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm not sure he can hear us. So, me guys, I'm not sure where Poja is driving, so let me just try to... Yeah, Poja, your music, can you go ahead? I'm not hearing you. Poja, I can hear you. If you can speak, I can hear you. So I'm just gonna add Kerry, I was asking Poja. Kerry, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I've got Kerry and I've got Talk Soccer.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Kerry. So I mean, I think Poja is in transit, right? So just talking about what Nigeria is missing out this particular year alone, $12.5 million. That's what we're missing out by not being in the World Cup. This is just if we went and we left in the group stage, 12.5 million. Do you think what's your take? This is 3 years in a row we've missed out. What's your take?
I think everything still boils down to the corruption in Nigeria.
Corruption.
That is what I feel, because if you want to back out players, you spoke about Morocco. If you want to, let's head like player for player who are better. Nigeria has one of the best squads in Africa.
Yeah.
You get, but it's not.
It's not about the individual players.
It's just like today now. I think when I woke up, I saw a lot of content. So people were saying came on to watch Morocco. But when we saw the beautiful football, the first 30 minutes of that game against Brazil,
Morocco had the game, like they played Brazil in that game. You get so, and you will not say Morocco, the players are way better than the Nigerian players. No, but I just think there's a system that is like, the talent is there in Nigeria, but the system is just failing everybody.
The system. Yeah.
Young guys who want to go into the sport business in Nigeria, in Africa.
Completely agree with you. Completely. I mean, I put the TV on and I was like, is Brazil wearing red? You know, like what's going on? The Brazilian guys didn't touch the ball and they were half field. You can see that Morocco has evolved from years of planning this thing. And you know what? The key thing about Morocco is that no player in that team was born in Morocco. No player in that Moroccan team was born in Morocco. What does that tell you? It tells us a deliberate effort to go out and find Moroccan players that were good, bring them into Morocco, into the team, and to integrate them into one unit. So it's not just the skill like you're talking about, it's the organization. There are more Nigerians in the world than Moroccans. And I think if we went out, look, the guy playing for the US is Nigerian. The one that scored the brace is Nigerian. In Switzerland, there are about 1 or 2 Nigerians in Switzerland. Almost every team has a Nigerian. Even in South Africa, I had an Okon there. But the organization to go and get this. Poja, are you back? Let's see if we can get you in here, Poja. Poja, can you hear me? Can you speak? I think I'm missing him. And I lost Kerry. Okay, let's get Talk Soccer. Talk Soccer, hop in here for me, play real quick. Talk Soccer.
Okay. So
Kerry, hang around. Yeah, Kerry. Yeah. I mean, it's a great point you're bringing. We're going to get to the NFF pretty soon in our presentation. Talk about the money they are getting, and if that money is being used appropriately. How can a nation, Nigeria, 200 million people, cannot go for the World Cup, but Cape Verde? How many people are in Cape Verde? There are more people in Ikeja than Cape Verde, and that Cape Verde is going for the World Cup. Come on. So you said corruption, organization. Completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's just basically the biggest issue.
Okay.
Like in almost everything, almost every sector in Nigeria. Because if you come to look at it, you can even check Morocco, for example. Now, the money that they made through sport tourism just last year, I think it was up to $1 billion or so. Yeah. I think I saw that I saw it last year. Like these are things that can help the sports system because I don't really see a big deal because I know the money that comes into the sports.
Yeah.
Then like sports sector, government also allocates money. Let's take for example the last World Cup that we went for. That's in 2018, the last World Cup. If you go and browse the figures that was made from sales of jersey, if you browse the figure, and when I try to, I don't know if other people know about it, but when I try to make more research about it, I noticed that Nike that is running Nigerian jersey or money that was given to Nigeria from the sales of those jersey, you get, because if you see Nike partners with, let's say, Chelsea, 20% of the money they make from sales of jersey, Chelsea gets. So if you look at that deal, I did not see any agreement that Nike had with the NFF regarding 10%. And those type of figures, those type of money, I think it will still help in sport development in the country because like now, you see a child, I think there's also a scout that said something about how there's a lot of talent in Nigeria compared to Brazil. But it is that it's system that is failing them. You see a small kid today now, he's playing football. If a scout comes and see that kid, maybe around 8 years old, he's playing football, they carry him outside, maybe to England, to Switzerland. It's time for him to choose which nation he should join. He will definitely go for the other one because even the players, the NFF now, they're not even motivating playing for the Super Eagles. And that's it. Football is all about motivation. It's about
I tell you what, right? I'm not, the motivation factor is always going to be there, but I'm just talking about, go back to the point I make about Morocco. No player in that Moroccan team was born in Morocco, which means that someone had to go and find those players, convince the parents to come and play for Morocco, then get them to start to train together as a Moroccan national team, that they can play so well. It's not a one World Cup thing. This is a process where they are bringing in folks into their youth teams, integrating them. It's the system, the process, not just the money. That's what Nigeria, I think, is failing. The system around football, the infrastructure. We have the skills. Like you said, Osimhen is better than their number 9. But what is the systems and the process surrounding Osimhen? Let's get Kenny. Let's get Talk Soccer in here. So we have Talk Soccer. I mean, you've heard what I have lots of slides, but I'll just focus on this one. Talk Soccer. Nigeria is going to miss out about $12.5 million. 12. I mean, money. It's a money space. 12.5 million. Even if you share that money, 1 billion to all the states in Nigeria, it's going to go somewhere.
Seriously, when we talk about football worldwide now, football is kind of let me say
our crude oil.
You understand? It's like a crude oil business. You understand that whenever anything you put in, you understand, it will kind of generate a lot of revenue for you. And like the other guy was saying, like tourists bring a lot of people into your country, and it also bring a kind of business opportunities to your country. Look at when you as he's saying that there's corruption, like in Nigeria, in every sector, it's corruption that bringing us down. You understand that? How can you, as a nation that more than 200 million people, that for how many tournaments now, like 3 consecutive World Cup tournament now?
We can go.
And Nigeria is part of the countries that are going to the World Cup in Africa.
Crazy.
And it's unfortunate.
Crazy.
You understand? So now, if you look at what's it called, Senegal. Senegal, the government, they are taking the the players along with anything that they are doing, like kind of pay them what they supposed to pay them, give them what they supposed to give them. And look at what happened at Nations Cup in Morocco. The Nigerian government, it's not that the money is not allocated to the NFF. The money was allocated to them, but to disburse this money to the players was a problem. And you cannot, you can't motivate players out of nothing that they should just go into the pitch and play. When you are done, if you want something, if you win something, we promise you that. We promise. Things are not done that way. You understand? Try to kind of motivate them. They know that yes, if they do this, do that, at the end of the day, if they win something will come out of it. But you have to motivate them first. Try to show them love from the and the money was allocated to you, you didn't give anything, and other business people were kind of promising. How are they sure that even if they do this money will get to them?
Okay, let me understand. I let you talk. Let me just bring this in again. I'm not going to bring somebody else in here. So I also did the research on how much the NFF gets from FIFA, because when you go to the World Cup, you get the 12.5 million minimum this year, minimum. But the NFF give Nigeria $8 million every cycle. The cycle is 3 years. So in 2023, they gave Nigerian NFF $8 million. It's for 3 years. FIFA gives Nigeria $1.5 to $2 million every year. This is minus the prize money. So if we went to AFCON, we came third, we're going to get about 3.5 billion. Again, I'm sharing the slides, guys, on YouTube and also on Twitter. So we're getting 8 million. I don't know how many MDAs in Nigeria that are not maybe dealing with oil or dealing with maybe finance get $8 million. So if you divide, this is going to be about 2 million, about $2.5 million every year. FIFA gives Nigeria under the FIFA Forward program. Then they give us 1.5 billion every year development grant. Where's the money going? Where is the money going? Let me get Pocha, if you can, anytime you can speak, but just hop in anytime you can speak, right? I know when you're sitting in transport. Once you can speak, but just go in and interrupt us and we'll get you in there. Let me get Ola. Ola, go for Ola.
Yeah.
Let me hi. Yeah, Ola, hi. Yeah. Ola, quoting figures here. Well, we've missed out on 12.5 million this year for just the World Cup. But FIFA has given Nigeria 8 million every 3 years plus $1.5 million every year. What's happening, Ola? Somebody says corruption.
Yeah.
Someone says there's no structure. What's your take?
Even before you started quoting the figures, what I've been running in my head is the fact that we don't have futuristic plans for the sport of football or for sport generally. We like the fire brigade approach. It's a year to the World Cup. We start looking for players that we feel might do good. Those players that are representing their teams. You see, we don't have any background work. We don't have any what's the word now? Any preparedness towards any competition whatsoever. We're always waiting for the last minute. And this has trickled down from how organizations are being run, especially the government parastatals in Nigeria. And this has trickled down to our teams. It's got across all our Nigerian teams. So, irrespective of whatever money FIFA is giving, CAF is giving, or anybody is giving, there are no proper channels those monies are going into. They're just siphoning the money into personal pockets, personal projects, and the like. I can't tell you while I was growing up back in Nigeria, we were looking at academies that we saw had future, where coaches could go to be the next big thing. Sincerely, these days we have so many academies, but no structures for them. Academies these days are more like scams, if I can use that word. Parents don't even have believe in academies.
What do you mean by scams? More direct, if you don't.
Yeah, if I say scams, it's like something you just put your money to and there will be no results.
Interesting.
Back then, if you tell your parents that you're going to an academy, the burden on your parents will be probably to get you boots, make sure you get transport fee to get there every day. The coaches there there are programs you go through that there's a possibility you might get a team based on your talent. Structures were in place then. But these days, they'll be telling parents to bring money so that the kids can travel. And those kids, so many of them are stuck back in. There's nothing the government is doing regarding that. So those things trickle down and then make it impossible for growth to happen. That's what I feel. Because when the playground is not leveled or is not even accommodating for everybody to grow, it makes improvement impossible. So no matter the money FIFA is giving for grassroots development, we were on Twitter, was it not last year or early this year, that they were showing one of the stadiums that they said they did in part of the country.
I remember
and
that.
Then somebody took his own time, went there to go and investigate, and we saw bushes there while they were saying they had. So many things like that. No, there's no accountability even for the money they are receiving.
Yeah, but
If you ask them for the past 3 years,
but again, Nigerians. I mean, come on. I mean, we've lost the 12.5 million, but FIFA is giving these guys 8 million every 3 years plus 1.2 million. This is dollars. I'm quoting, no dollars. So every year they get $1 million, about $2 million. What's exchange rate today? Multiply 2 by about 1.4. How much is that in billion? That's what they get every year. This is from FIFA. They get money from the government. They got about 17 billion from the government in 2025. This year, they get about 2.31 billion from the same government. They got money, 3.5 billion from AFCON. There is money in this thing.
It's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot, Olumide?
Yeah, it's not a lot because if you look at the context of how I know what you mean. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money in the sense of the value, but for these guys, it's not a lot because if you look at mismanagement, I happen to be in the sports business, and one of the reasons why even creating a successful sports business in Nigeria is impossible. There are 3 criteria. First of all, we have weak intellectual enforcement. Nigerians love sports, but we don't have a strong legal, and sports every relies on legality. We don't have that. Secondly, you need to also look at the fact that you also need to look at disposable income. The US economy, for example, takes about 45% of the global. So if you have a sport business that just focuses on the US, for example, you are made. There's an economist article that spoke about the only thing working in the UK, the Premier League, and I take it back to what you were saying, Carlo. If you look at the way we've managed the sports sector, we've not allowed the best people at the aims of affair. Well, the only thing that really works in Nigeria, if you ask me, apart from our stock market, the banking industry, and lately the energy sector, the sports sector, it needs a lot of revolution. Look at people managing from sports, journalism, to the entrepreneurs, to the chains of command. It's not the best. And sorry to say, Carlo, you see, many people, we need to look at the schools also. How many people go to schools to learn sport, to sports science? You know, in the US, for example, sports science is a big deal, you know, and these guys work with Nike, Adidas. There's so much creation. So the value chain in Nigeria is very minimal.
So, and well, where this project back, where this gets important, we're talking about the business of soccer now. So business itself. So betting, sports betting is a business, and it's booming. And that's private sector. It's even booming more than the stock market, stock betting.
Yeah, but it's relative when you say it's booming more than so. So let me explain that part to you. So there's what I was looking at the figures in dollar terms. So see, a lot of Nigerians gamble far more than invest in the stock market, but in value terms, it's low. But you know, and I'll explain that to you. So if you look at the total amount Nigerians put on a bet, you can't wager it to the amount the guys in UK use per annum, because I'm looking at it in dollar terms. So the question is the population, not the value. So very few people control those space like Babaji, Sportbet, all those things. Very few people control, and it's more like a cabal thing. So the context also is that it has cannibalized other parts. In America, for example, you know, Nike, Adidas, there's Fantasy League, there's Draft League Kings, there are different sectors, there's merchandise, there's e-commerce. And disposable income is quite interesting, and the culture in US is that sports are well interwoven into schools, so football. So back home in Nigeria, for example, we don't really have that. You know, we don't have that structure. Before those days when we want to play ball, Principal Cup, I remember when I was young, I'm sure you remember Principal Cup and things like that. You know, it was more interesting then. But now, I think the business side of sports, I think to me, it don't take a transformation. Gamblers are promoted. The easiest point why gambling looks like the most attractive venture is because a lot of Nigerians are looking for an economic way to get it, even though the business model doesn't make sense.
All right, Oliver, the project is here. I mean, that's a good point. That you're talking about the value. It's the numbers, not the value. So we have 1 million Nigerians that are betting #1 million, but you have 2 Nigerians that are buying stocks of 20 billion. Fair point taken. Yeah. Let's get Poja in here. I know because he was in transit. We're going to get everyone to speak, guys. Poja, hi, how you doing? Can you speak now? Are you safely in a place where you can grab the mic and talk to us? Let me see. I'll give some time. Mr. P, we're waiting on you. Okay, while he's getting that fixed, let's go over to Nehemiah. Nehemiah, hi. We're talking about, I've got about 5 slides. We're going to talk about even the individual teams and if we have our structure. But Nehemiah, just what's your take on the fact that the NFF, they don't have a money problem. They're getting money from FIFA, from the government, from everyone. But why can't the NFF fund football to qualify Nigeria in 3 cycles? That's 9 years. We haven't gone to the World Cup in 9 years. What's your take? Is it 9 years? 12? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlo. I'm hoping that we can all hear me.
Yes.
Just so we don't take our time. Since we love numbers, I'm going to read out a few numbers. I'm reading from Intel Point, the statistics organization. And the 2026 budget, the NFF is set to receive 2.3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, okay, so the NFF is said to receive 2.3 billion, a fraction of the 210 billion earmarked for the sports sector. Now, the National Sports Commission is taking the lion's share at 203 billion, but the Institute of Sports is taking 4 billion. Now, if you think about it from what I just described, the Sports Commission headquarters, which is an administrative building, they are spending like 90% of all of the monies that the Sports Commission is taking. And what is actually going to sport development, which is the Institute of Sports, is taking 4 billion for a whole year. Now, it tells us already what the priorities, and it's not the government that writes what they want, right? It's the commission that writes what it intends to spend money on for the year. So sometimes people want to blame the government in one way, but at the same time, you also have to look at the people that say this is what you want to spend money on, right? Do you want to spend money on youth development? Do you want to spend money on sport development? We complain about other countries that invest in their sports, but the budget numbers already tell me that they are not interested in investing in sports.
Which budget? Nigeria's budget?
Yes, I'm looking at the Nigeria.
But why is Nigeria funding sport? That's the question. Why is Nigeria funding sport? These guys can make billions. Does the Brazilian national team get funded by the government? I mean, they make money from FIFA. There's Glo, there's MTN, there's all these private guys that can go to and get money. You look at the teams now, they are private sponsorship on the national team jerseys now. So why are they getting money from the government?
Yeah, because there will still be some form of government involvement, e.g. in in youth development, for example, right? Yes, I agree with you about the part where we do get monies from outside, from different places. I don't know if anybody remembers when the former women coach, what's his name, Ralph something, raised a concern that Nigeria receives almost $1 million. Nigeria received almost $1 million in 2022 to prepare for the World Cup, and not a single dime. I don't know if anybody followed this news. Not a single. As I wish there's this guy. His name is he's on X. His name is Big Bird. He talks a lot about the mismanagement of the NFF. I'm sure Kucha knows him as well, right? And they are always at loggerheads. I'm saying Big Bird and the NFF. And yeah, so this particular news came out where Ralph Wondrum, I don't know how to pronounce him, apologies. He mentioned that the NFF got $960,000 US. You can look it up, right? To plan for the FIFA Women World Cup, and not a single dime was spent. So he was asking Nigeria, where's the money? So yes, you're right. We do get monies from different places. FIFA gives us money. We get monies from, and there are opportunities that will always come. But at the end, we know, I hate to say, but we know in Nigeria that we have an accountability problem. Like you always say, we have a problem with accountability. And unless we really solve that problem of accountability, no matter how much more money we decide to put in, we may never really get the result out of it.
Okay. I hear you. Let's get Poja. Mr. P, I hope you can speak now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we've been going back and forth on this. The numbers speak for themselves. Lots of money is flowing going to the NFF. They have lots of opportunities to also get funds into Nigerian football. But the one that they have, where has it gone to? And have they failed the nation? 3 World Cups were not there. What's your take, sir?
Well, good afternoon once again. I think the guys, because I was listening, the guys have said a lot about what is the problem of the NFF, the problem of Nigerian football, the problem of the football or the business side of Nigerian football. And I think, for me, I've been a strong advocate, but it comes to a time that it looks like there's nothing that can be done. We, on the other side, we know the solutions, but we have people in those spaces that are blockheads. Selfish administrators from the head to the top, from the head to the tail. Because I don't know why a country as Nigeria, which of course, because if you are doing business and you are administrator, if you put down the figures to even earn to just participate at the World Cup, you can sit up and do the right thing. How they are not sitting down to do the right thing when they see money on because if you go for the World Cup, you can even embezzle more. If you want to do corruption, you can even do corruption more.
There's more.
Because there's more money, but how they are not seeing how they can make more money even for themselves if they are selfish and do the right thing for Nigerians and for businesses. Let me just break it down for the in the name time. I was in Qatar in 2022, and I must confess to you, even as a foot soldier, as a journalist, how much you can lose if Nigeria fail to qualify for major tournaments. And I always tell administrators, and I always tell the players, if you do well, in terms of qualifiers, major tournaments, even journalists will not care about you because there are a lot of money in that economy that can make any journalist to afloat. But unfortunately, we have people because for the word of me, look at what happened, during the playoffs, the World Cup qualifiers. For players going on strike because of money, when you have the big deal. And the funny thing is this: nobody will resign, nobody will lose their job. And the funny thing again is those guys that failed to qualify for the World Cup for this year are actually going to do re-election in September.
This September.
This September. Mm-hmm. There's no shame. There's no accountability. And once you now start talking about, and for the love of me, big up to Simo BK. But for us in the system, it's very difficult for us to speak. I'm an independent guy, but as I'm independent, I'm still tied to the NFF because they can write to FIFA behind the scene and they can reject my accreditation, and that will grant my career. So when you speak a lot like that, and people say, Puja is not talking, Puja is a coward, I know what I'm dealing with internally. Nobody pay me in the NFF. Nobody give me a dime. But they can actually, choke you to the point that they can write FIFA indirectly from back end. Yeah. And you just see that, you see a rejection. What is going on? Yeah. You've gone for tournaments, and that is why most of us don't really, because we'll be speaking and be talking, but they continue to withhold us. And when you now message me and say you want to do something like this, what I said, I'm going to be on the space because we need people like you outside the system that can actually, open this, because at the end of the day, the National Sports Commission too are actually doing their bit. But because of this, funny rule for FIFA, that government cannot interfere in the NFF, is making them to behave anyhow.
That's crazy.
Because government interference can make FIFA to ban Nigeria for like 10 years.
Okay, Poja, question for you, Poja. Are you saying that we cannot even audit how they spend their money as a nation? We can't.
So if you look at it very well, Simon Vike, came out, was on their neck. And the funny thing is, the government, the government and the National Sports Commission cannot audit the books of the NFF.
Hey, that Nigerian players are playing in.
They cannot, because if they interfere in that regard, they will be. That is why when you see those infrastructure, the Go project that was done across the states, nobody can tell because FIFA themselves has okayed the facilities. So when the people that give you money have said we are satisfied, who are you to now say you want to probe? So the problem we have basically is a revolution. Revolution in terms of we don't mind if there's going to be a ban. There should be a sports minister that will probe, that will audit, and that will expose all these ills. So that when FIFA now comes, like, okay, they want to ban us. We want to fix our house. When we fix our house, we'll come back to you and you now reinstate us.
This is crazy.
But there's no ministers. There's no minister that have done that. And of course, all of them are in the same shoes because the NFF, of course, the chairman of the National Sports Commission has been vying to be the NFF president. Oh. So there's no. So the politics of this football in Nigeria is crazy.
But let me also ask you, when you say they're going to vote in September, who is voting for them? Am I going to vote for them? Who votes for them?
You cannot. Yeah. No. So according to sorry guys. So according to NFF statute, FA chairmen of states, and of course, votes during the election, and of course we have other, of course we have the MPFL that votes, we have the NNL that votes, all the leagues bodies that votes. So at the end of the day, I think they've expanded it to only 52 votes.
Okay, hold on. So the state FA chairman will vote.
Yeah, they'll vote.
How do the state FA chairman get elected?
So they get elected from their states. So they get elected from their own commission as well. So if I'm in Lagos State FA now, if I want to get elected now, I get elected by the clubs, the registered club, the affiliated registered club in that state. So if I have like 10 of it, I can be of course Lagos State FA chairman. So it's the association. So you have to be an association in the states to vote for FA chairman, and the FA chairman in turn now have that singular vote per state to vote for an FA president.
So question. So just off the top of my head, though. So if the president appoints, say, maybe a governor, maybe like Wike, and then Wike goes to all the state FAs and says, I want you people to vote Poja in as the next FIFA whatever guy, then the state will then vote you, then you become the FIFA guy. We've not interfered with FIFA. I'm just saying, just hypothetically.
Okay. Yeah, so the game is very crazy. So now that we have a second term, of course a president vying for the second term, Alhaji Gusau, he must have done his groundwork, because sometimes too, because you are in the states, and of course if you are in the states, even if you are a state FA, of course you take orders from the governor. So they now play their games. So now they are playing games with the president of the country, which is Tinubu. So once Tinubu agreed to your second term, nobody can talk.
So in effect, Tinubu cannot probe them because he has agreed with them.
So Tinubu cannot probe because according to FIFA rule, even Tinubu cannot even probe. If Tinubu probe, that's why I said, like, I love what someone said, we need a revolution. So if Tinubu or the minister if they are ready to fix Nigerian football, there will be a presidential audit team that will break into the NFL files and start interfering. And once it starts interfering, it will send signal to FIFA. So FIFA will send signal to Nigeria and say, if the government fail to back out, they will ban us for 10 years. So because Nigerians will now start crying, Nigerians, government have interfered, you are not enjoying football again, they will now back out.
But we've not gone to FIFA for more than 10 years now. We've not gone to FIFA World Cup for more than 10 years.
So the problem is, so now that if you want a revolution, we need a minister who doesn't care about the ban. We need a president who is going to break whatever is going on with NFF, go on that ban, probe them, convict people, take people to EFCC and fix that place.
Okay.
Because the politics that is going on in that place is very huge.
But just pause. Let's get a few guys to talk. There are lots of guys I want to speak to you, right? Let's get Jack. Jack, go ahead, Jack. We'll get Jack. We'll do AFC Mahid. Jack, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Carlo. Poja, good to be on the space. So I'm going to be speaking as an administrator because I could own a sports club called the Jele Sports Club. So first of all, maybe this might sound a bit weird, especially for my brother Poja, that makes his money out of this. But I am actually happy that Nigeria did not qualify for World Cup back to back because I feel like maybe at some point we need to do a proper reset. Nigerians are too quick. We're a nation where people just want to go to World Cup, go to tournaments, and compete and come back. But that's not. We can't develop. Sport cannot add anything to our GDP by mere going to tournaments and coming back, right?
But it does. It does. We've got the numbers here for you. 12 million tourism, goodwill.
Carlo, please just allow me to explain to you how the $12 million you're talking about. It's not anything to compare to the amount of money we can make if we actually develop sport in Nigeria. right? So I would rather Nigeria. I personally don't want us to go into even the next 2 World Cups, right? Maybe we can. No, so I'm going to give you an instance. You can't compare what countries like Morocco, for example, is gaining because of sport alone, because of the investment they have made and developed local sport. See, what Nigerians should be concerned about is how can sport transform the lives of an average person in Kaduna, in Kano, in villages? How do we begin to build, community sports centers and start properly developing sport? There are a lot of benefits to sport. It's not just about going to tournaments, right? It's just 11 players, or maybe highest a team of 50 people that will travel and go for this tournament and come back, and we are shouting, "Oh, we are a footballing nation." In what way is Nigeria currently a footballing nation? Now, your league is off the peg. Yeah, you're nowhere to be found in Africa. Your clubs are struggling, right? No club in Nigeria at the moment can compete with any club anywhere in some of these Northern African. You're not talking of Egyptian clubs. You're not talking of when was the last time a Nigerian football club actually did well in any continental competition? Not Rivers United, not Enyimba can compete, not Remo Stars can compete, none of our teams. So the problem is that we have not scratched the surface. So you guys are looking at going to tournaments. And as a grassroots sports person, that I am, and as somebody that understands the impact of sports in an economy like as big as Nigeria, you cannot have 230 million people and you don't have a proper league. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
Okay, no, Jack, someone's going to say, is half bread not better than none? I mean, even if we go for the World Cup, we get new stars, we get small tourism, we get even the small money.
So we're just going to enjoy the moment, right? We're just going to enjoy the moment. And then people are going to clap, Osimhen has done well, blah, 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 and all of that. But my concern is, how does this add value at home? How does this give hope to a younger person? How does this pull young people out of poverty? How will that you develop your league? See, if we pump in half of the money we use in going for this competition into our leagues in this country, and then you're able to take young people out every single day. If you punch the numbers, right? The number of persons that can actually be properly employed if we have a viable league. I'm talking of the photographers, the content creators, the grass cutters, the people that clean the stadium and all of that. I have friends that all they do every weekend is just to go to Wembley and clean their stadium, and they get paid handsomely every weekend. Nigeria should start gravitating towards that, where we develop our league and actually have proper people. Let's have a league. If Poja has a league, I'm telling you, Poja will care less even about the so-called World Cup. I'm telling you this.
No, Jack.
If we have a league that we can have a lot more Pojas, right? But right now, you just have Poja, you have Ogala, and a few other, journalists, sports journalists in Nigeria. But if you have a league, you can have thousands of them, and they are all earning from the same league. So what Nigerians should actually be concerned about is, how do we get a proper league? The NNL, the NLOs, the NPFL, how do we increase? How can government, bail out our clubs and make those clubs super big clubs that can compete anywhere in Africa? That should be our concern. If we develop our league, I can tell you, we will. Personally, I will care less about going to World Cup. Personally, I don't see anything.
Jack, your passion is clear. I think you speak for many people. I don't think what you're saying is wrong. I'm just pushing back to give you the other side. Again, I hear you. And I hear the fact that, listen, let's punish ourselves so they can be changed. But these guys have not gone for World Cup in three cycles, and nobody has been punished. So I will not just punishing ourselves for nothing. The guys that, and I don't want you to answer, but the guys that we are punishing ourselves. We've not gone for 3 World Cups, and as Poja has said, they're going to be re-elected in September. These same guys are going to be re-elected, and nothing will change. I hear you. Let's get AFC to Mahid to come in and speak. Poja, AFC, what's your hand is up? Go ahead. AFC. Yeah, I mean, you hear the passion, and it's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's being passionate, like he said. If we have a private, why do we not go to Nigerian Airways and Nitel? Because we have a private sector alternative. If we had a private league that was functioning, we had players coming through the ranks, we are going to play players in UEFA and all that. Nobody will care about what NFF is doing, but we don't have that. And that's his point. So what's your take? I mean, you have your own point, but what's your take on the passionate comment by Jack?
Thank you very much to our host. Thank you to our listeners. So I think this opportunity to even speak alone, it's something that I've really been looking forward to, because I believe Nigeria as a country itself, we do not lack sporting talents. We're one of the most naturally gifted sporting nations in the world, because across football, athletics, basketball, just name it. We do have people that can take care of a lot of things, but Nigerian athletes, we continue to excel out there. I work here so I'll just like to take us back to 2021. I'm not going to mention names. When I had to reach out to the NFF, and I put together a proposal for a community first soccer proposal. Something like what Jack just said now. There's a way we can. Right in our communities, there's so many of us that we go out there to go and play five-a-side. I'm not currently in the country, but there's so many of us that even before we left the country, you go out there to go and play soccer, and you see people that you're like, come on, if this guy could just get us scouts, it's going to be one of the best out there. But just to hit the nail on the head, I want everybody listening right now to first of all know that, number one, the reason why we're so rich in talent, but we're so poor in the business side of sports, is that Nigeria as a country, we treat sports as an event rather than an industry. And that's one of our biggest challenge.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
We treat it as an event, a one-time event, rather than a bit that interesting.
Yeah.
Say it again. Yeah. As an event, not as a...
Yeah, so we treat sports as an event rather than an industry.
Industry. All right, I've taken that down. I'm going to I'm going to use that. Yeah, take it down.
So just imagine us investing, right? You have investors from different parts of the world who would definitely want to be a part of whatever you're showcasing. I work for an organization here in California that all they do is just to discover young talents. I currently work with kids within ages 12 through 18 until they become real professionals. But what do they have that we do not have in our country? Nothing. It's just that
they have the organization, they have the structure around, like you said. Like I made the point earlier that Morocco, no player in the Moroccan team was born in Morocco. So an administrator had to go out and get these people's names, track them, speak to the parents, bring them back into Morocco, train them, give them even passports to then play for Morocco. Exactly. So again, that's what I'm feeling. But this is a good way for us to sort of to move on, guys. Let me do this. I'm going to let's move into the club side of it, because now we've talked national team, and like Jack has said, we do not have a local team. So guys, I'm sharing some pictures here.
I just want to quickly say something before I call it a day. So I just mentioned that number one of our major issues is the fact that we treat sport itself as an event rather than as an industry. But one of the biggest one for me is that we have that very weak institutional governance. And when I'm talking about institutional governance, you tell someone now to bring a proposal, and all that you would see is administrative instability, limited transparency, short-term planning. Nobody, they will tell you now that go and bring a proposal for you to be able to train youth in your community. People want to make fast money. They will bring a proposal that will be within 2 to 3 years instead of 20 to 30 years. Like, okay, even when you are saying, okay, you're tired of doing this, you can always say, okay, yes, I have already built a team that can continue. Even when you're hate and you feel like, okay, I'm not going to be able to continue this. But there's just a lot to discuss. I have a whole blog where I just talk about some of the things.
What's on the blog? What's on the blog?
I'll pin it on my on my page soon.
You should pin it here because people can see it. All right, so FC, you should pin it here.
Thank you very much, Carlo, for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Poacher and the rest of you guys, Jack, I'm sharing a few slides here. I'm looking at the Arsenal. Arsenal FC won the EPL this year. I'm posting that commercial revenues, what they earn, broadcasting about £273 million. I mean, commercial, £263. Match day, £154 million. This is Arsenal. But people will say, Kalu, why are you talking about Arsenal? Arsenal's in the UK. Okay, let's talk about Africa. So I went to Al Ahly. Al Ahly is the richest team in Africa, I believe. Al Ahly made from just one tournament, the World Club tournament. They made, first of all, Al Ahly's budget. Poja, are you hearing this? It's a $170 million. This is not Egyptian dollars. Their budget for the 2025-2026 season, $170 million. A club in Egypt, right? How many Nigerian MDAs, forget the oil guys, have a budget of $170 million? And you can see where they make their money from. Commercial sponsorships, they have deals with Adidas and all that. So there's broadcasting, there's membership, there's commercial sponsorship. So we've done Arsenal, we've done Al Ahly. So it's possible. So let's go to the most successful Nigerian team. And I mean successful, that has won Continental. I know they might not make money, but again, we're doing Arsenal, Al Ahly, let's do Enyimba. Enyimba, $1.4 million United States dollars. That's what they won for CAF prize money by playing in the Champions League in Africa. So if Enyimba had sort of kept its standards up and had just gone for the tournament, the Club World Cup tournament, they would have been getting the same money that Al Ahly is getting. This is in dollars, right? About 900,000 or so were just made from that tournament. So, Poja, let's bring it back home. Yes, we'll talk about the administrators and all that, but the local clubs in Nigeria, what are they doing, right? Are they, Jack has said there's no local league. Who is sponsoring the local league? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What's actually going on? I see a few pictures. The team is in Ogun State or so that are doing very, very well. They have a good stadium. I see their fans and all that. You see some leagues, it's just crazy. I saw a league that was stabbing a guy. Poja, Jack, you guys that are in the field, what's going on with the local league in Nigeria? Please.
Okay, quick one. I think, Kalu, I think what Jack, said or was trying to say was what we need in this country. I think, for any country to boom, sport-wise, your domestic league must be booming, and that's the bedrock of any sporting whatsoever you want to do in Nigeria. Because if you look at the English football or the Three Lions, we talk about the Premier League because the Premier League is doing well. We talk about the La Liga, but our league is dead. It's dead in the sense that there's no title sponsor. Let me say, if you guys don't know, I'm one of the administrators at Ikorodu City, the MPFA club. We finished fourth. We're in the semi-final of the FA Cup. And I must confess to you that the league is dead. We are running a league of zero commercial value or zero value. I will tell you for a fact, no, except from the prize money, which is like 120 million, no other club from second to 20 gets anything from the MPFA board. So that shows what we are doing in Nigeria. We are doing nonsense. And when brands come into this MPFL, these administrators, they eat it up. Star Times sponsored the league for 2 years. They pumped, per season, close to 1.3 billion to the league. So in two seasons, they spent 2.6 billion. Carl, let me bust a bubble. They didn't make up to 100 million as a brand back from the MPFL. So as Star Times, I will tell you for a fact, they didn't even sell up to 100 decoders to show you how bad what the state of our football is in this country. And someone said something. You talk about Enyimba. Enyimba went for something that CAF quickly wanted to do, called Super League. And they gave Enyimba 1 billion naira. I want billionaire, and guess what? Eyiba could not even lay a turf at the Aba Stadium.
Jesus.
They were begging the government to lay a turf when you collected 1 billion as a participation fee from CAF. Where is the 1?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Poja, if you're speaking, you are off. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear Poja. Lumne, can you hear him? Jack, can you hear Poja? Can you guys hear me? I can't hear. Can anybody hear him? Let me do co-host before they'll kick me out of Twitter. Can you guys hear? Can anybody hear Poja? Oh, Nehemiah, you can hear him. Okay, I can hear him. Let's come. He was making this point about Enyimba and $1 billion. I didn't want to lose that point. Nehemiah, real quick, go ahead. What's in your mind? Let's see if he comes back in. Nehemiah. Hey, I'm so sorry, guys. They can't hear you guys. I might have to drop off and come back in again.